Hello, I'm Mark Salisbury from the Oxford Knowledge Company. I'm here to demystify Office 365, if that were possible, in the 12 minutes we've got available. The first thing I want to say is that you have a card on your table. It's a red one. Fill this in while I'm talking. You have a chance of winning this lovely hamper, which is actually a picnic basket with plates and everything. Whether or not you want us to contact you, it's completely all right for you to just enter the draw. And can I start by asking who here is using Office 365 in their businesses? Very few. And the rest of you might be interested in doing that? Not necessarily. We'll see. Okay. So I've mentioned the postcard. Please fill that in. I'm going to talk about what Office 365 is, and you're going to have a chance to asking questions to Priya from Microsoft, and that's going to take about a third of our time, I think. This is who we are, and the reason we ask questions about Office 365 is that actually it's one of the services that we provide, and we help our clients to choose the right packages. This is the number one message I want to get across today. Office 365 is not a product. I'm using Office 365 isn't really a statement that has much content to it, because Office 365 is actually more than one thing. It's a family of products made up of lots of different elements, and you might be using one set of those products or services and might be using a completely different one. So you might think you're using Office 365, and you might be, but actually we have to work out which bits are you using and are they the right ones. So it is some web apps, which are these, some installed programs, and some cloud services. Now, what are these web apps? Look, I think I've got a pointer here. There we go. These web apps are absolutely free and cut-down versions of familiar bits of software that you use all the time, like Word, Excel, and so on. You can have those for free now if you want to without signing up for Office 365 at all. Talk to us about how. Those work on tablets, on Macs, on your iPhone. They work on more or less any platform, but they only work when you're connected to the internet. That is part of Office 365. And over here, we've got the installed program. So you're used to buying Office as a box product or your license when your PC comes. That is going to be incorporated if you buy Office 365, the right version of it. And you're used to buying that, and it's tied to a machine. With Office 365, you buy it slightly differently. I'll tell you in a minute. And finally, when you buy Office 365, you can buy a version that includes web apps and installed programs, and also you can have Exchange Online, which is basically an email server that allows you to have a cloud platform that saves email, it saves contacts, it gives you shared calendars for your whole organization, and also OneDrive, which is a sort of Microsoft step up from Dropbox, Shadow IT. Ask me about Shadow IT later on, which means things people install on their computers that might bypass your security. And there are ways that OneDrive is more secure than Dropbox, and also Skype and SharePoint. So let's explain how these work in Office 365. So I've already explained that web apps are free, but as part of Office 365 you get them anyway. You must be online. I did a test. We talked yesterday on the phone. What happens, I said, if you're online, editing an Office 365 document on your tablet or whatever, and you lose connection, then it joins up again. Basically, it carries on working up to the point when you had lost your connection, so you don't lose what you were working on. It carries on working, but only when you've got an internet connection. You're familiar with buying installed software. You pay 300 quid, you get a copy of Office Pro, and you install that on a machine. But you can only install it on that machine, and when that machine dies, probably it's out of date, it's the old version of Office, and in some cases you can't even move it to another machine. That's the old way of buying Office. So the new way of buying Office is not buying it, it's renting it. So you rent it on a monthly basis, you pay per user, you can flex those number of users up or down. As a user, you can install it on up to 5 devices. So I can install it on my laptop, on my desktop, on my smartphone, and so on. It doesn't mean that I can install it for Mark and for Priya and for everybody else in the organization and only need a fifth of the licenses I would have needed otherwise. But the flexibility for an SME is brilliant because I don't need to spend another £300 or £400 to buy Office when I'm SME. I just start renting it at a tenner a month or whatever that number happens to be. And of course, there are these other bits and pieces like Exchange Online, like SharePoint that I get bundled in. Oh, that went too far. There we go. So, this is Microsoft's statement. 80% of Fortune 500 companies use Office 365. Those are big organizations. What about the SME space where we work? Well, we work in a space which is companies like you. Why are you guys buying Office 365? 3 reasons. One is you're buying it because it's a way of getting Exchange, getting an email server that's hosted on the cloud. And you can ask Priya about where it's hosted if you like. Secondly, it's a different way of buying. It's a more economical way for a small business because they can flex, they can rent. But bear in mind, though, if you do rent, as soon as you stop paying, you've lost all the rights to use those services and that software. And finally, which is becoming bigger and bigger for us, is our clients want to be able to work in multiple locations. They want to work on their smartphone. They want to work with their colleagues who don't even come into the office. They can collaborate more easily, and they can work mobilely in different locations. The collaboration is really cool. You can edit, 2 of you or 3 of you can edit the same Excel spreadsheet at the same moment and see each other's edits come up in real time. It's very clever. It's very clever. Give it a go. We can organise a demo for anyone who wants to have a go at it. So finally, how do you buy it? Okay, so this slide is here, not to explain to you how to buy it, but to show you it's complicated. This is just a snapshot of the different packages that are available. This is mostly the SME packages. You can see that you can get the free apps down here. You can get the business premium version there, and you can see which features are involved. But don't look at this. It's only a snapshot of some of the packages. Actually, because it's complicated, we offer a free service. Phone us and say, I think I need this and this, and we'll help you choose which package to buy. And we won't do that for money. We'll do that because we want people to be on the right packages. I've highlighted 2 things here. One is this line here, really important. So this is called in-place hold. So if you are, let's say, a lawyer, and you need to be able to prove whether you did or didn't receive or send an email from your organisation in court, then this feature, if you had bought it, would allow you to do that because it means that a copy of everything is saved in a place that you can't tamper with. The courts accept that as evidence. The second point I wanted to make here is that you buy it this way. So you buy, let's say, Office 365 Essentials or Office Plan E3. You can mix and match within the organisation, so you can have 5 of those and 12 of these and so on, and you can change those from one month to another. But you can't just say, well, I want Outlook and I want in-place hold and I want only the Exchange Online. You have to buy it in the verticals. So I think now I'm going to hand over to Priya. Now, Priya is a channel...
It's an awful title. It's horrible. It's a Partner Channel Development Manager, which is a horrible, horrible title. We shorten everything to acronyms at Microsoft, so I'm also called a PCDM, which sounds equally awful. But in essence, my role is working with Microsoft providers to help them understand more about how they can take cloud, and that's not just Office 365, but a whole suite of products, out to more customers. So that's what I do at Microsoft at the moment, but despite the fact that I look like an intern, I've actually been at Microsoft for a while, so I've been there for I know, I get ID'd if I'm buying alcohol, that's just the way it is. But I've been at Microsoft for 9 years, so I've done a number of different roles at Microsoft, and I'm sort of open to answering any questions that you have. There's just one point that I did want to make, kind of off the back of the presentation, is a couple of you put your hands up to say that you are already using Office 365, and that's great. And for those of you that aren't, and are sort of just thinking about cloud and where that fits in, the one thing that I'll really encourage you to do is not think about cloud as this is what my IT looks like at the moment. Okay, this is what it could look like if I use some bits of cloud, but speak to an IT provider or speak to these guys about what is your business trying to do? So what are your plans for your business and where are you trying to go? Is it that you want to reach new customers? Is it that you want to grow your sales force? What are you trying to achieve as a business? And then let them work out how IT fits into that. But don't think of it as well, this is how we have worked, and actually the server in the corner is kind of dying a bit, we've got to do something, or we're out of service, we've got to do something. Think forward, think about where you're trying to go and how IT can kind of enable you with that, rather than sort of what you already use at the moment. So a lot of our customers...
I think you've already answered one of my questions, actually.
Go on.
I just wanted,
Yes,
does anyone have any questions that they want to address to Priya? No, can I ask one question?
Yes.
We might have not much time because I think I spoke too much. Which is that some people might be thinking that Google Docs or the apps are very similar to the Office 365 offering. Maybe you can address that query.
Yeah, so Office 365, as you kind of saw in the presentation, it's not just Word and spreadsheets and those applications that you've been using for years and you know really well. It's a whole suite of products, so it includes conferencing facilities, calling facilities, a terabyte of storage to share all your documents, all that kind of thing. So it's much broader than just the application that you're used to using on your desktop. But also we've got a huge amount of security that's built into the Office 365 products. And as you saw, we have a number of Fortune 500 companies that are using Office 365, but actually in the SME space, over 50% of the Office licenses we sell in SME now are cloud licenses. So in the UK, we're selling more Office through cloud than we are perpetual versions of Office. So there's still a big uptake in the SME space as well. So the way that it differs from Google, it's actually a different suite of products. There's a whole lot more that's wrapped into Office 365, but also there's a huge layer of security that's around that as well. We also don't mine your data for AdWords. Just put that out there as well.
Where's the data stored, Priya?
So we have 2 data centres in Europe, in Dublin and Amsterdam. We made an announcement that we're opening a UK data centre. I don't know where that is at the moment. So we will soon have a UK data centre. I'm hoping there'll be an announcement in the next few months or so around that. But that said, we have a lot of public sector, government organisations that are using Office 365 today, and they're able to use the data centre facilities that we have at the moment. There's also a huge amount of information around what we do to keep our data secure, the regulations that we adhere to. So if you go into a search engine of your choice and type in Office 365 Trust Centre, it will take you to a website that goes through that in a lot of detail, but it's really crystal clear. We make all of that information available to you as customers.
So hopefully, if there are more questions that they can address to you at the end, Priya,
yes,
because I'm getting the wave to
yes,
finish off. So I'm just going to summarise, which is it's a platform of solutions. It's not one thing. It's important that you choose the right one for your business or the right ones for your business. And please ask us for help with doing that if you want to. It costs you not a penny. Also, if you want to move your email onto the cloud, onto Office 365, it's not trivial. So ask for help. Get us involved, or get someone involved in doing that. Also, companies who are using Office 365 aren't necessarily using it very smartly, in a very smart way. So we can offer you some training in how to use the facilities of it much better if you want to do that. And just a reminder, we're going to talk about connectivity in a minute, so ask us about that in a second. Fill in the postcard, hand it in, win the hamper, and visit this URL if you want some help. Thanks very much.
Thank you.